Hi, my name is Mr. Robson and I'm the Head of Computer Science here at Cramlittle Learning Village. What this video is here for is to try and give you some information, some hints and some tips to try and help your son or daughter get the very best possible grades in their computer science course that they're studying at the moment. Firstly, we're just going to talk a little bit about how the course works. So next May, about the 16th of May, they'll do exams. Okay, they'll have one Comp 1, which will cover a certain area of the specification, and they'll have a copy of that. They'll do a Comp 2 exam, which again is certain areas of the specification, and they should know what those are and to be able to find those on the specification. And they're also doing at the moment in lessons in NEA, so they get given a task from the exam board. They get given 20 hours to program and to write up how they've approached this task. Now, one of the things we want you to talk to your son or daughter about is how are you doing on that? Are they doing okay? Are they finding it easy? Do they find it a bit too hard? I don't think anyone find it easy. But if they are finding it hard, they can ask for a little bit of support. They can talk them through the tasks, give them general ideas. We can't tell them exactly what to do, because that would be classed as cheating. But we can give them advice and things and talk them through certain programming techniques that might be useful in that, and they've got to adapt that knowledge into what they're doing in their NEA. So what your son or daughter will get in terms of revision to help them revise even from now right up until later when they do their exam is they'll each get a plastic Potter wallet, and we'll ask them to bring them in on a Tuesday week 1 and a Friday week 2 just to show that they've been revising the given topics that are on the plan. They will have a paper copy of the textbook, which is also a PDF version. If they prefer to look at it on their phones or on a tablet device or their Chromebooks, they can read that on there. And they'll have a little orange book, an exercise book, where we'll expect them to write notes about the topic that they've been given in order to help them summarise their knowledge. Because really just watching a video or reading a book doesn't help them learn that much. What we want them to do is to summarise that and try to make an understanding of what that topic's about. They'll also be given an electronic copy of the revision timetable, and that's what they're going to use on a regular basis to try and keep a track of what they've been doing so far and what they should be doing next. So they've seen this already, and this basically has a few points in about how we want them to summarise their knowledge and what we want them to do. It has a link to some exam papers, and we'll add more as time goes on. It's got a link to the exam papers, those marked papers which really be testing themselves, because that's what they're going to have, a real exam, 2 1.5 hour exams. And it's got for each end of the topic for the specification, it's got a little test to have a go at, and again the answers are in there to try and help them if they get stuck. So here's some ones for Comp 1, and here's some end of topic tests for Comp 2. Again, there's an electronic copy to link to the textbook if wherever they are, unfortunately, haven't got the paper copy with them. So example would be for this week, the 9th to the 10th, beginning, they're going to have to look at the need for secondary storage, what the idea of data capacity is and how do we work those out, and what the 3 main types of secondary storage are, which are listed there. They will have to make sure that their notes covers these points, because that's what they need to know for their exam. That's what the exam board are asking them to be able to know for that exam that relates to these points of the spec. So they will have to make sure that they've watched these videos, or they can go and read the textbook and find the section, whatever they prefer. It's up to them how they think they learn best. But what we want to do is to read that or watch the video. Don't just sit and watch the video, think, yeah, that does make sense, I get that. Oh, but actually, what did you say about that part of the video? No, I don't quite understand that. So I need to go back and watch that part of the video again, or possibly I need to look at another source might help me know that topic. Or I might even go to one of either Mr. Woodhouse or Mr. Robson to go through that particular topic, because I might need a bit extra help. So they can also email me, Mr. Robson, on probson@crownlv.co.uk to ask for that little expert support. So the next week there'll be another topic, and then there's another topic. Every week there's going to be a topic, and it's going to be at least one video. Most videos are no more than 5-6 minutes. I think it'll probably take about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes a week to take some notes. And this is going to be really powerful for them to revise for their exams, because they've got a lot of knowledge in these new GCSEs, and a lot of things they've got to remember for those exams, and they want to make sure they get the best grade on their exam paper by the end. So hopefully that gives you some ideas. One thing you could do is, if it's got a topic, like here, you might even just start asking them random questions, which always used to work for me when I was younger. What are the 3 different types of secondary storage? What's a positive of magnetic storage? What's a negative of optical storage? And it'll give you some ideas to understand the kind of things that they've got to know in terms of the depth of knowledge on those topics. So hopefully by the time they get them here, they should have covered all of the things in lessons, and also covered all the revision for their exam as well. So by the time they get to the end of the course, they should have a really strong position to get the very best grade possible. That's why we're doing this. We want them to get the best grade for them. As time goes on, we'll probably put more revision sessions on every Thursday between 5 past 3, and 4 o'clock. There is support sessions with me, Mr. Robson, in AL2 and with Mr. Woodhouse in MM2. The sessions for that, and they know about those. But they could say, well, actually, Monday lunchtime, sir, could you go through hexadecimal? Because I don't quite get it. We've also got on a Wednesday morning from 8:30. They can come on that as opposed to go to tutors, as long as they inform their tutor, to come do some extra revision for us or go through maybe some practice questions. So if you have any other questions, or you can email P. Robson, that's myself, or J. Woodhouse at cramptonlv.co.uk to try and get an idea of how your students are getting on. To know how they're getting on, you will be given a copy of this tracking sheet which we update on how they're doing their exams and assessments. So obviously you can see there's no names in here, but we'll put some numbers in here, we'll send that to you to let you know how your son or daughter is doing. And you will look at the number and go, person number 1 has got to get a 9 by the end, and they're getting some quite good marks, but for some reason they put an amber, probably because they didn't do as well on the assessment like they should have. But they're doing pretty well, they want to get an 8, so we're getting there. But it might be that for your son or daughter, they've got a red next to their name, which means actually they're still quite far away this person to get a 5, but at the moment they're only getting the top end of a 30, which we think will be probably a top end of a 3 grade. So it might be that you need to talk to your son or daughter and say, well, actually, what's going on? Why are you not revising these exams? Because they need to revise these exams regularly, because again, that will make a difference to them. In terms of homework, there'll be another little tab down here, and you will again be able to see the number for your son or daughter. And again, it will have red that we don't see any evidence in their book that they've done some revision. Amber, they've done some, but we don't think it's detailed enough, and maybe send them away to go and improve it. And green to say it's okay. If they regularly don't hand in their homework, they will be put on detention, and you know this, that if they don't hand their homework, they may be asked to come maybe at lunchtime the first occasion, after school. If it's a regular thing, obviously we put in our behaviour tracker system to let other people know that young person isn't doing their homework as much as they should do, but also they might be asked to come for the 2-hour detention session on a Wednesday to try and get caught up. This is all there for you to take 15 to 20 minutes to try and help your son or daughter get the best grade. 20 minutes out of their life isn't a real lot, but that will make a massive difference to their grade by the end. If you have any suggestions that you want things improved, by all means, like I said, email us or anything that would help your son or daughter. We'll also be sending you a letter out soon about revision guides. We're looking through all the different revision guides that are available. We're going to try and suggest what we think is the best revision guide that's at a reasonable price that won't cost too much for you. Okay, thank you.